Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my channel? Thank you so much. I had originally planned to meet my parents with my girlfriend, Mary, but just the day before, I discovered that she went to meet her ex-boyfriend, Tom's, parents. She looked startled when she saw me suddenly appear, but quickly retorted, "What are you doing here?" "Just passing by," I replied casually. Tom's mother smiled and asked her, "Mary, who is this?" "A friend," Mary answered bluntly. After leaving the restaurant, I went straight home. I still held a glimmer of hope that Mary would come out to explain herself. However, until I got on the subway, she made no move, no calls, no texts. I couldn't help but mock myself. Why was I still fantasizing that she would give up her old love for me? When I got home, I saw a red lipstick package on the table. From the packaging, it was clear that it was a bright red lipstick. I have always liked bright red. Last year, for Mary's birthday, I gave her one, thinking she would like it, but she not only refused it, but also said bright red was tacky and her least favorite color. Now the package had been opened, and there was a card next to it that read, "To my dearest." Although it wasn't signed, I knew it was definitely from Tom. Seeing those words, I could almost see Tom's mocking face. In the past, Mary and I often argued about Tom. At first, she explained that they were just friends and told me not to overthink it. But as time went on, she became impatient, saying I was too focused on making money and loved to dwell on these matters, even calling me narrow-minded and petty. During our fiercest arguments, she would sometimes slam the door and not come home all night. But this time, I was really tired and didn't want to argue anymore. I took a shower and then returned to my study to work. Around midnight, I heard the sound of keys and the door. Mary was back, but Tom was with her. "Why is your place so messy? Doesn't George clean? He can't be that lazy, can he?" In fact, ever since living with Mary, I have been the one cleaning the house. Hearing his words made my blood boil. Before I could get up, Mary's voice came through, "George, come on to talk to you." Her tone was commanding. I walked into the living room, and Tom grinned at me, saying, "George, so you're here. I hope I'm not bothering you. What are you doing here?" I asked irritably. "Today's incident was a misunderstanding. I came specifically to explain it to you," Tom said. Tom and Mary exchanged glances and smiled, saying, "Hey, the thing is, my mom has been pressuring me to find a partner, and I was really fed up. So I thought of finding someone to pretend to be my girlfriend to deal with her. Mary is my best friend, so I had to ask her for help. So it's not what you think. Don't take it to heart. If you're angry, feel free to vent all on me. You can hit or scold me. Just please don't blame Mary." Before I could say anything, Mary jumped in to defend him. "George, he is sincerely apologizing to you. Don't be so petty." Watching the two of them support each other, I felt like an outsider, as if I had committed some unforgivable mistake and had to accept. At their judgment, I suddenly got angry. Should I thank him for asking my girlfriend to pretend to be his girlfriend and even take her to meet his parents? What's next? Are you going to move in with him? Mary's face instantly turned ugly, and she said angrily, "Can you not say such hurtful things? It sounds like there's something between me and Tom. We're just helping each other as friends, not as terrible as you think." In the end, she didn't forget to humiliate me, saying, "People with dark hearts see everyone as dirty. George, you can say whatever you want about me, but you can't humiliate Mary like that," Tom said, patting my arm, pretending to be the good guy. He quickly apologized to Mary and said, "Don't do this again." I pushed his hand away. Apologize? Why should I apologize? I've apologized to her more times than I've spoken to her over the years. Tom pretended to be in pain after I hit him, letting out a hiss. Mary was so nervous that she quickly asked Tom, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," Tom said with a smile. I didn't expect George to be so strong despite looking thin. "It's nothing." His words completely enraged Mary. She turned to glare at me and shouted, "George, why are you so petty? Tom just asked you to apologize. Why did you hit him?" Even a fool could see that Tom was pretending, but Mary believed him wholeheartedly. It seemed that in her heart, I was the one who was unnecessary. Mary suddenly ordered me, "George, I command you to apologize to Tom right now." "Mary, I'm really fine. I came here to apologize to George today. How can he apologize to me? That's turning black and white upside down. The more Tom said this, the angrier Mary became. She pointed at me and shouted, "George, did you hear that? If you don't apologize, we're breaking up." This trick again? If it were before, I would definitely have swallowed my anger. But today I would not compromise. If we break up, then we break up. I threw down this sentence and went to the bathroom. At that moment, I felt an indescribable sense of relief, as if I had done something incredibly right. Mary was furious. Fine, fine, you said it. We're breaking up. Mary, don't be impulsive, Tom pretended to advise. Don't worry, I know him well enough. By Theonite, he'll be begging me to reconcile. Let's go. Mary's words were clearly meant for me. In college, Mary was the star of the dance club. She was beautiful, had a great figure, and was very talented at dancing. Many people pursued her. She was like a princess surrounded by stars. At that time, I only dared to secretly have a crush on her. She really liked Tom, but Tom was focused on pursuing the campus beauty and was indifferent to Mary's affections. After Mary's confession failed, she cried very sadly that day. It happened to be pouring rain, and I saw her sitting by the roadside with a bouquet of flowers soaked by the rain, losing its original brilliance. I felt very sorry for her, so I gave her my umbrella. As we interacted more, we became familiar with each other, but I always felt that I was not worthy of her. Our senior year, with encouragement from my roommates, I finally mustered the courage to confess to her, and she actually agreed. At that moment, I felt like the happiest person in the world. To show my determination, I even swore in front of her that I would love her and treat her well for a lifetime. She hugged me tightly, her face full of happiness, shouting, "I want to be with George forever." Looking back now, I still feel a bit emotional, but this sweetness didn't last long. As soon as Tom returned, she seemed to change into a different person. I stood under the shower, continuously rinsing my face with hot water, trying to wash away the last trace of my feelings for her. Since she no longer cared about this relationship, I wouldn't cling to it either. The next day, my parents arrived as scheduled, eagerly looking forward to meeting their future daughter-in-law, but Mary was not home. So, I could only lie and say she suddenly got a call from her boss and would be on a business trip for the next couple of days. Although my parents were a bit disappointed, they expressed understanding and were not angry. After that, I took them around the city, wanting them to see the place where I lived and to reassure them. Before leaving, my mom specifically reminded me to treat Mary well. I nodded in agreement. Another day passed, and Mary still hadn't returned. I knew she was definitely waiting for me to back down, just like before, to humbly seek her forgiveness, but this time I didn't contact her. This was our first Cold War, and it was the first time I mustered the courage not to reach out to her. In the past, every time we had a fight and she ran out, I would search for her all over the streets. Once I found her, regardless of whether it was my fault or not, I would humbly admit my mistakes and coax her, taking a long time before she would reluctantly forgive me. I loved her so much and was so afraid of losing her that I didn't care how humble I had to be. My friends all said they had seen people who were desperate for love, but none like me. At that time, I proudly said that I would be willing to be Mary's devoted admirer for a lifetime. Looking back now, I realized how foolish I was. On the third day, Mary finally came back. As soon as she entered the house, she exploded at me. "George, what do you mean? I've been out for so long, and you didn't even call or text me. Do you not care if I die out there?" "I've been too busy with work these past 2 days," I said flatly. "Forgot." She stepped in front of me, her eyes wide with disbelief. "You can say that? Do you even care about me at all?" Of course, I cared about her, and that's why I knew she must have been with Tommy the past 2 days. Because that night, she went out with Tom for less than an hour and posted a video of them partying together on social media, captioned, "Because of you, it's a sunny day." Since that was the case, why should I reach out to her? But she kept complaining. "Is it because I've been too good to you lately that you think you can do what? Whatever you want at home?" Let me tell you, George, don't think that just because you're my boyfriend you can act however you like. If you make me angry, I'll break up with you right away and you'll never see me again. Then she arrogantly added, "If you apologize to me now, I might consider giving you another chance." "No need," I replied. She didn't expect me to say that, and her expression changed instantly. "What did you say?" I said, "No need for a chance." Mary was stunned, and she started to stutter. "What do you mean?" Looking at her shocked expression, I felt no ripple in my heart. "Let's break up. It's better for both of us." Mary's face was filled with panic, her eyes full of confusion, and the arrogance she had just displayed vanished without a trace. Her mouth twitched, and thinking I was joking, she forced a smile and said, "George, look at you being so petty. Are you really angry? I told you I just want to help Tom. We really have nothing going on. Can't you be a bit more magnanimous? You're my girlfriend, yet you pretend to be someone else's girlfriend and even meet their parents. I didn't make a scene. Isn't that enough magnanimity? Should I congratulate you?" I finally said what I'd been holding back. Mary stood there in a daze, a hint of shame on her face. Then for the first time, she apologized to me and even tried to please me by saying, "George, I know it was wrong of me to leave that night without saying goodbye. How about this? I apologize to you, and let's not bring it up again, okay?" "No need," I said coldly. Mary was stunned, her eyes filled with panic. She never expected that I would actually agree to break up. It used to be her who had the upper hand over me, but now that I resisted, she was thrown into a fluster. "What do you mean, no need? Don't talk nonsense." At that moment, she seemed to suddenly remember something and said with a smile, "I remember your parents are coming to see me, right? When are they coming? I need to prepare in advance to show them how good your taste is in finding such a beautiful girlfriend." "No need to prepare. You have to prepare. It's rare for them to come, especially to see me." "How can I not prepare?" Seeing that I was about to leave, she smiled again and said, "Are you going to work? All right, you go ahead. They'll take care of the house. I promise to clean it up nicely so they can see how capable their future daughter-in-law is." "They've already been," I said expressionlessly. Mary was stunned again and asked why. "The day after you went out with Tom," I replied. She was instantly dumbfounded. I bitterly laughed at myself. "We clearly agreed that you would spend a day with my parents, but you ended up with Tom's parents first. But now none of this matters. Why didn't you tell me earlier?" She started to shift the blame onto me. "It's all your fault. You know I have a bad memory." "A bad memory?" "I remember when Tom just came back." Mary was incredibly excited. They hadn't seen each other for over 3 years, yet she could clearly state all of Tom's preferences. So it isn't that she had a bad memory. It was just that I wasn't important to her. Perhaps realizing she was truly in the wrong and wanting to make amends, Mary said, "How about we invite them over again? He'll make the call. That way, it seems more sincere. Don't worry, this time we'll definitely perform well and make you proud." Saying this, she took out her phone and asked for my number. I calmly refused. "No need. My parents are very busy. I went out to look at houses the night Mary and Tom went out. I wanted to move immediately, but I had to work during the day. After work, I looked at a few places, none of which were suitable. There was nothing I could do. I could only stay here a few more days. Today happened to be my day off, and I decided that no matter what, I had to find a suitable place to live and then move out. The air in this home makes me feel suffocated. Even one more day here is unbearable. Fortunately, this time I found a house that was good in every aspect, and I signed a contract on the spot, ready to move in. When I got home, I was a bit surprised. The house looked brand new. The sofa was rearranged, and there were 2 more potted plants on the balcony, adding a lot of vitality to the home. I had wanted to put some plants on the balcony before, but Mary said she wanted to dance at the connection between the living room and the balcony and that plants would get in the way, so I didn't do it. But in the years we lived together, she never danced there even once. "You're back." Mary ran over with a smile, wearing a crop top, still as sexy and hot as ever. Over the years, she has maintained her figure well, just as charming as in college. "I just saw a dance that was really beautiful, so I learned a bit and want to show you. But I haven't danced in years, so if I don't do well, you can't laugh at me." After saying that, she started casting from her phone, and the TV began playing jazz dance music. The rhythmic music, combined with Mary's beautiful face, enchanting dance moves, and sexy figure, would have excited me to cheer in the past, but now my heart felt like a still pond without a ripple. When we first moved in together, I had asked Mary to dance for me. I really enjoyed watching her dance, but she never agreed. After the dance ended, Mary ran in front of me, sweating, and asked, "Was it good?" It was good. I had to admit that she really could dance. I was just stating a fact, which didn't mean I would change my mind. If you think it's good, I can dance for you often in the future. How about that? Just as she was saying this, her phone suddenly rang. Mary! I immediately recognized Tom's voice. Mary became tense and quickly went back to change clothes. Tom, you go. I'm just going to see what happened. I'll be back soon. She ran to the door, but suddenly stopped, turned back, and asked me, "Shall we have hot pot for dinner?" Okay then. Wait for me to come back. You'll buy the ingredients and make hot pot. After saying that, she ran out without looking back. I have always loved hot pot. Got together, I wanted to treat her to it, but she refused, saying it was high in calories and easy to gain weight if eaten too much. She didn't like spicy food. Since then, to accommodate her taste, I hadn't eaten hot pot for years. Looking at the ingredients and hot pot base on the table, I felt a wave of sadness. If it were before, how wonderful it would be. I held back my tears and went back to pack my bags. Since I had decided to leave, I wouldn't look back. After packing my bags, I went out to wash the vegetables, planning to have a good hot pot dinner with Mary, drink some beer, and consider it a relatively good ending to our years together. A farewell dinner, so to speak. Although we had quarreled over the years, I still hoped for a good party. However, Mary didn't come back until late at night. In the morning, I got up and went to wash my face. I saw Mary in the kitchen, wearing an apron and making breakfast. I had imagined this scene countless times, but after living together for a few years, I had always been the one making breakfast for her. Sometimes, when she was in a bad mood or had no appetite, she would just say she wasn't eating, completely disregarding how much effort I put into making breakfast. Once, she ran out without eating breakfast, and half an hour later, she posted on social media 2 cups of milk tea with hearts drawn on them, captioned, "Good mood starts with you." Because of this, we had a fight, but she said I was being petty. Since then, I haven't made her breakfast again. After washing my face, Mary walked over with a smile. "Come eat breakfast, and then I'll take you to work." I'm not going to work today. I took a day off from the company. A friend would come to help me move things soon. Mary handed me chopsticks and said apologetically, "I'm really sorry about last night. I really wanted to have hot pot with you, but Tom got beaten up and was in a really bad mood, crying and begging me not to leave. I had no choice but to take care of him, afraid he would do something foolish. Aren't you angry?" I smiled nonchalantly. "Not angry. That's good. You eat first, and I'll bring out the cold dishes." At that moment, the doorbell rang. I got up to open the door. It was my friend. As soon as he walked in, he joked, "George, the number 1 saint next to Mary. Why do you suddenly want to move out? Did you have a fight with Mary?" "No way. Didn't you say you were willing to be her saint for life?" Just then, Mary came out with the cold dishes and froze when she heard my friend's words. "You want to move out? How come I didn't know?" My friend looked confused and quietly asked me, "What's going on?" "It's nothing. Nothing." I smiled faintly and led him into the room. "Just help me get the suitcase. I'll handle the rest." Mary suddenly called out, running over to ask, "Are you really moving out?" "What?" My friend sensed the atmosphere was off and quietly said, "Should I come back later?" "You go downstairs with the suitcase and wait for me." I had made up my mind, and my friend had no choice but to drag the suitcase. It came out after he left. Mary couldn't wait to ask, "Is it still because of what happened last time?" "I've already apologized to you. What more do you want?" "It's not because of that." "Then what else could it be?" "The issues between us can't be resolved in just a few words, so let's part on good terms. It's better for both of us." Saying this, I picked up 2 bags and prepared to leave. Mary blocked the doorway, her eyes red and her voice trembling as she said, "I won't let you go." "Do you really want to make this so awkward? If you want to leave, you have to give me a reason that can convince me." I didn't want to say much, but seeing her like this, it seemed that not giving a reason would mean I couldn't leave. If I forced my way out, I could leave, but I was afraid she would keep bothering me. "I don't love you anymore," I said directly. If I mentioned other reasons, she would definitely say she would change, so it was better to be straightforward. This is impossible. Mary's tears streamed down her face as she grabbed my arm, her voice trembling with sobs as she asked, "You must be lying to me, right?" "No, you must be lying to me," she shouted. "You once swore in front of me that you would love me and treat me well for a lifetime. Are you really going to go back on your word?" It's meaningless to say these things now. I gently pushed her away with my arm, preparing to leave. Mary chased after me, spreading her arms to block my way. "I won't let you go. We promised to be together forever. You also said you would meet my parents, but you turned around and went to meet Tom's parents instead." She looked ashamed and speechless. I suppressed my anger and said, "Let's break up. Stop messing around. Parting on good terms will leave us with a good impression of each other." She could see that I was truly determined to break up and wasn't joking. The word breakup was something she had said to me dozens of times over the years, each time making me anxious and flustered. I had been living under her pressure, cautious and weary. Now, I wanted to escape this life and regain my self-respect. Mary no longer tried to stop me. She knew deep down what she had done. She had gradually destroyed our love step by step. After leaving, I looked up, took a deep breath, and felt an indescribable sense of relief. When I reached downstairs, I got into my friend's car and headed straight for my rental place. My friend was surprised and asked, "Did you really break up with Mary?" "Yeah." "Wow, you, the devoted one, actually did something so big. Want to grab a drink to celebrate your return to single life?" Before I could respond, he laughed and said, "Just kidding. Don't be mad. Let's drink." "Really?" I joked. "What? Afraid of spending money on drinks. If it were someone else, I really wouldn't want to spend that money. But since you asked, I have to treat you." At noon, we ordered several dishes at a restaurant and drank over a dozen bottles of beer. Although I made up my mind to break up with Mary and bravely took that step, how could years of feelings just be set aside? Without any waves with these drinks, let's consider it a tribute to my lost love. No way. My friend suddenly handed me his phone. "Look at what Mary means by this. She just broke up and went to find Tom." I swatted the phone away, not wanting to see. My friend realized he had misspoken and didn't bring it up again. After finishing the drinks, he asked me, "What are your plans next?" "Work hard and earn money," I replied. "That's a good idea. The company boss thinks highly of you. If you focus on your work, your future will be bright." He was speaking the truth. The boss had always appreciated me. There had been several opportunities to go on business trips to the headquarters for training, and the boss wanted me to go, but I had turned them down each time to accompany Mary. Looking back now, I felt quite sorry for the boss. So the next day at work, I took the initiative to apologize to my boss. The boss had learned about my situation through a friend and smiled, saying, "I went through the same thing at your age, so I understand. As long as you're willing to work hard, the company welcomes you." "Thank you, boss." In the following month, I focused entirely on work. The boss indeed kept his word and arranged for me to go on a business trip to the headquarters with another female colleague. The headquarters is in Los Angeles, several hundred kilometers away from here. The person responsible for our reception was very enthusiastic and took us to eat local specialties. Perhaps I hadn't eaten spicy food in a long time. After eating, I developed acute gastroenteritis and had to be hospitalized for fluids. My female colleague laughed and said, "I heard you used to be able to eat spicy food and liked hot pot. I thought you could handle it." I replied, "I haven't eaten anything this spicy in a long time. Since living with Mary, I had adjusted my diet to be much milder to accommodate her tastes, and over time my stomach had become weak, so I couldn't handle the sudden spiciness." Just as I was speaking, my phone rang. It was an unknown number, but I knew it was Mary. I didn't answer. We had broken up, so what was the point of answering the call? Unexpectedly, she sent me a photo of a street and said she had arrived in Los Angeles and didn't know where to go. Coincidentally, this street was right outside the restaurant where we had eaten the local specialties. Although we had broken up, I couldn't just stand by and watch her be alone and vulnerable outside. It was too unsafe. So I called her back. As soon as she answered, she smiled and said, "I knew you still cared about me." I replied, "You misunderstood. I only see you as a regular friend, and I'm worried about your safety. I don't care. As long as you call me, that's enough." I didn't want to drag it out with her and said, "There's a hotel nearby. You should check in and go back tomorrow." I left in a hurry and didn't bring my ID. Mary can be quite forgetful sometimes. There was no other choice. I decided to remove the 4 and take a taxi to find her. My female colleague advised me, "You're not doubly. Let her come to you." No need. I saw that the 4 bag was almost empty, so I removed the needle and prepared to get up. However, after lying down for so long, I suddenly stood up and felt dizzy. My female colleague quickly supported me and complained, "I told you you're not well yet, but you wouldn't listen. What kind of important person is worth this? It's nothing." I insisted on walking out, but she was worried I might have an accident and decided to accompany me. I couldn't refuse and had to agree. When we arrived, as soon as I got out of the car, Mary saw me and was so excited that tears came to her eyes. She immediately ran towards me, but when she saw my female colleague also getting out of the car, her steps halted. Her smile froze, and she asked, "Who is she?" "She is mine," I started to say, but before I could finish my sentence, Tom suddenly appeared from somewhere, holding a plastic bag. He said with a smile, "Mary, I ran a long way to buy your favorite chopped chili beef noodles. Eat some while it's hot." Mary doesn't like spicy food, but when Tom handed it to her, she took it without thinking. After giving the noodles to Mary, Tom saw me and my female colleague and immediately scolded, "George, you are terrible. Mary cried for several days after breaking up with you, not eating or drinking. She almost wanted to die. How could you have a new love so quickly? Are you even human?" Mary walked up to me, her eyes filled with tears, and asked, "Who is she?" "I am George's girlfriend," the female colleague responded, shocking both Mary and me. Only Tom, with a smug look, said, "Mary, you even specially asked where George was, coming all this way to get back together with him. Look at him, he's simply heartless. Why are you still thinking about someone like him?" "Shut up," Mary suddenly shouted loudly, startling Tom. This was the first time she had spoken to Tom like that. Mary turned to me, tears streaming down her face, and asked, "She's lying, right? You two aren't in a relationship, are you?" I hugged the female colleague and said, "She's not lying." Mary looked as if she had been struck by lightning and burst into tears. "George, I hate you." After saying that, she turned and ran away. Tom looked at me smugly and quickly chased after her. Watching Mary's retreating figure, I sighed in relief, thinking she probably wouldn't show up in my life again. After they left, the female colleague asked me, "I didn't ruin your chance to get back together with Mary, did I?" "There's no way we could get back together," I said with a smile. "Thank you so much just now. Otherwise, things would have been troublesome." She smiled casually. "It's just a small matter to help someone in need." Then she angrily said, "That guy clearly has an ambiguous relationship with Mary." Yes, I knew it. The female colleague became more and more agitated. "I really don't understand. Mary clearly came to get back together with you, yet she brought along a guy with an unclear relationship. I really don't know what she's thinking. They have always been like this. The guy's not a good person either. He knows Mary came to get back together with you, yet he deliberately stirs things up, sticking to her like a piece of gum. Neither of them is great. It's better they broke up." She then asked me, "You won't be angry if I say this about her, right?" I smiled and shook my head. Her words not only didn't make me angry, but actually made me feel a bit better. This female colleague is straightforward, saying whatever comes to her mind, and she's very smart. If only Mary had half of her rationality back then, we wouldn't have ended up like this. But now none of that matters. After resting another night at the hospital, I felt much better. The next day, I started working normally. After a half-month business trip to the headquarters, the female colleague and I headed back. A friend came to pick us up at the airport. As soon as we got in the car, he grinned at us. "When did you two get together?" I had no idea at all. "Get together? Don't hide it from me. There's no such thing as a wall that doesn't let the wind through." It was then that I realized and quickly explained that it was to trick Mary, really. Of course, it's true. I couldn't let the female colleague's reputation be affected. My friend laughed and said, "I told Lily that you just got rid of your nice guy status. There's no way you'd fall in love so quickly." As soon as he finished speaking, his expression changed, realizing he had let something slip. Lily is Mary's best friend, very beautiful, and my friend has always liked her. When I was with Mary, I often helped them connect, but Lily never had feelings for my friend, so they remained just friends. Hearing him say that, I became nervous and asked, "Did you really say that to her?" My friend awkwardly nodded. I was so angry that I really wanted to hit him, but considering he came to pick us up, I held back and asked, "So Mary knows him in Los Angeles for a business trip because you told her?" Lily has been calling me dozens of times a day. I really had no choice. You really prioritize romance over friendship. My friend looked apologetic. It's my fault, but speaking of which, since you're determined to break up with Mary, you should sit down and talk it out clearly so you can part on good terms. Do you think I haven't tried? From what you're saying, Mary even traveled a long way to find you. Maybe she really regrets it. You two have been together since senior year. It's been several years now. Why don't you think it over again? I asked irritably. If Lily were your girlfriend and was ambiguous with other men all day, would you still be with her? Definitely not. Then that settles it. My friend sighed helplessly. It seems you two are really done. Fine, I won't contact Lily anymore. They say birds of feather flock together. She probably isn't a good person either. If you can't find a girlfriend later, don't blame me. They'll blame you. Huh. Just then my phone rang. It was my mom calling. As soon as I answered, she asked, "George, where are you?" "I just got back from a business trip, Mom." "What's up? Can you come home for a bit?" I was a bit surprised. Is something wrong at home? Nothing's wrong. Okay, he'll buy a ticket and can be home by evening at the latest. My mom explained, "I'm not asking you to go back to our hometown, but to the home you and Mary live in. Your dad and I are waiting for you here." After saying that, she hung up before I could respond. I stood there puzzled. Why did my mom suddenly go to find Mary at that moment? A female colleague said, "It'll get off at the intersection ahead. It's still far from the company. Your family matters are more urgent." I could take the subway back to the company just the same. After my colleague got off, I felt a bit guilty. The car changed direction and headed towards home. My friend suddenly asked with a smile, "I'm asking, are you really okay going back?" "I've already ended things with Mary." "That's not what I meant." Soon we arrived at Mary's doorstep. I was about to knock when the door suddenly opened, and it was Mary. She saw that I really came and excitedly said to the inside, "Uncle, look! I told you I could feel George would come back. Now you believe me, right?" Then she smiled and reached out to help me with my bag. "You must be exhausted after such a long business trip. Come on, let me take your bag." I dodged her hand and walked straight inside. "Mom and Dad, why are you here?" Mary walked in and said with a smile, "I called to invite Uncle and Aunt over. I felt bad that I wasn't here when you visited last time." "It's not your fault. Young people are busy with work," Mom said. "George, I knew you were coming back today, so I went out early to buy a lot of groceries. Uncle and Aunt are here. Let's have a hot pot together as a family, okay?" As she spoke, Mary walked up to me again, reaching out to help me with my bag. Her eyes filled with pleading and unease. This was a scene I had fantasized about countless times, but later I realized it was just a dream that would never come true. "Mary, you become clever. No one brings my parents to pressure me." At these words, Mary's hand trembled, suddenly her eyes turning red, instantly looking pitiful. Mom hurried over, puzzled, and asked, "George, what do you mean by pressure? What are you talking about?" "Mom, Mary and I broke up." Mom was shocked, looking at Mary and then at me, asking in confusion, "Why? We're not suitable for each other." Even after breaking up, I still wanted to give Mary some dignity. My friend was right. Parting on good terms is better for everyone. "George, don't be impulsive. When two people are together, how can there be no conflicts? If you talk it out, the misunderstandings will disappear." "Mom, I'm not being impulsive. I've thought it through." Mary cried, "George, I really know I was wrong. Ever since you moved out, I've realized I can't live without you, and this home can't be without you. Please forgive me and give me another chance, okay?" She wiped her tears and pleaded, "I can swear in front of Uncle and Aunt that I will never associate with Tom again. It's unnecessary. In the past, you made so many mistakes, and I forgave you and gave. Why would you give me one? What did I do wrong before you?" Mary was suddenly at a loss for words. She knew in her heart that when I admitted my mistakes before, it wasn't because I was truly wrong, but because I loved her and wanted to maintain the relationship. But at that time, she took my love for granted and acted recklessly. It wasn't until I could no longer tolerate it that she realized how painful it was to lose me. It's my fault, all my fault. I shouldn't have been so willful. I shouldn't have treated you that way. George, please give me one chance. I'm begging you. Saying this, Mary suddenly knelt down in front of me, crying uncontrollably. I hurried to help her, but she shouted, "If you don't forgive me, I won't get up." I had no choice but to let go and said some things that once said can't go back. After I finished speaking, I turned and left, not wanting to get entangled any further. Mary immediately burst into tears. Before long, my parents came downstairs. My mom found me and said, "I didn't expect you to come to this point. I actually wanted to tell you last time, but I was afraid it would make you sad, so I thought I would wait a while before saying anything." "Don't say any more. Mary has already told us everything." My mom looked regretful. "This matter is her fault. You should break up with her. Your dad and I have no objections." "Thank you for understanding me, Mom and Dad. Although we understand you," looking at Mary, "it seems she can't accept it for a while." "It's okay. She'll come to terms with it after some time." My mom nodded. "That's good. Mom and Dad, you haven't had lunch yet, right? That's not my paycheck. Let me take you out for a nice meal." I took my parents to a relatively upscale restaurant and ordered many of their favorite dishes, but they had no appetite at all. After the meal, my parents decided to return to our hometown in the county. I tried to persuade them several times, but they insisted on leaving, and I had no choice. After sending them to the bus station, I went back. On the way, a friend said, "Don't worry. Lily said she would stay with Mary until she gets back on her feet." I responded softly and looked out the window. The blue sky and white clouds made for a beautiful view. After adjusting my emotions, I threw myself wholeheartedly into work. My boss was very satisfied with my performance and promoted me with a raise. Shortly after I returned, I was in a great mood and treated my colleagues to dinner. Everyone enjoyed the meal, drank happily, and the atmosphere was lively. I felt incredibly relaxed. Without the constraints of emotions, even the air seemed sweeter. After drinking too much, it was still that same female colleague who drove me back. Among the 10 or so people in the department, she was the only one who hadn't been drinking. When I got back to my rental place, I washed my face to sober up a bit and said to her, "I'm really sorry to trouble you again. I'll treat you to dinner another day. Aren't you afraid I'll take advantage of you? Do as you please." "You said it." The female colleague smiled, her eyes softening a bit. "You've had quite a bit to drink tonight, so get some rest early, okay?" I watched her leave, and a different warmth surged in my heart. After she left, I took out a letter from my bag. My friend said it was given to him by Lily to pass on to me. I opened the letter, which said, "George, thank you for opening this letter and being willing to listen to my heartfelt words. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry. I once promised to be happy with you forever, but over the years, I have made you suffer. In fact, at the beginning, I truly wanted to live a good life with you. However, ever since Tom appeared, I don't know what happened, but I always think of him. I know this is wrong, and you have argued with me many times, asking me to keep my distance from him. After all, I already have a boyfriend, but I couldn't control myself and even lost my temper with you. Looking back now, I realize I was so immature at that time. You once said you would love me for a lifetime, and I believe you were sincere then, and that feeling has never changed. Because of this, every time I acted willfully, you would search for me everywhere, but I didn't know how to cherish it and instead became even more unreasonable. The reason you proposed to break up is definitely because you were completely disappointed in me. These days, I have also felt that heart-wrenching feeling. If you're willing to give me another chance, I promise I won't make the same mistake again, and I'll treat you well. But I know in my heart that you want to turn back. I'm sorry for you. I don't deserve your love at all. I won't entangle you anymore. Just as you said, let's part on good terms so that we won't make it too difficult for each other. Goodbye, the person I should never have let down. I hope a good girl will take care of you in the future." At that moment, a sudden thunderclap sounded outside, followed by a heavy rain. I can imagine that when Mary wrote this letter, she must have been in tears. But between her and me, it has completely ended. I will have no more attachments. I will not keep this letter either. I stuffed it into a garbage bag, ready to throw it away and completely bid farewell to the past. As soon as I opened the door, there was actually a person standing outside. She smiled apologetically and said, "My car is parked outside the community, and it suddenly started pouring. I can't leave. Can I stay here to avoid the rain?"